Today we're going to start out here in Buffalo, New York. Do a few things here. We're going to move on later to Niagara Falls, which is not too far away. We're going to start here. This is Shark Girl statue. The artist who did this has done a lot of drawings and paintings of Shark Girl. I think it's the body of Alice from Alice in Wonderland, the shoes, the ruby slippers from Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, and a shark's head. Just a cool looking weird statue. It originally was in Cincinnati. I don't know why, if they didn't want it or what, but got moved here to Buffalo where it sits now. Just a cool random thing here. A lot of people come take selfies at this statue. From there, we're going to move over to the Anchor Bar. This is still in Buffalo. This is where buffalo wings were supposedly first invented. Kind of on accident, the way the story goes, but we're going to go in, check things out, actually eat some wings here. The wings were decent. They weren't bad. They probably weren't the best wings I ever had, but they were good. It's not expensive, kind of like we said last time. Like to go kind of cheap on things. I don't know that I'd call this cheap, but it wasn't expensive at all. It wasn't bad. There's the buffalo with wings, which I thought was kind of cool. Lots of different things on the menu you can order besides just wings, but of course you kind of got to try the wings. There's the story if you want to pause it and check out the story. But I got a corned beef sandwich, and there's Charlie got some, I think he got bourbon wings. These are just the normal original buffalo wings, which they were real good. We did finish them off, so it wasn't bad at all. Just maybe not the knock your socks off, kind of blow you away kind of wings. And then from there, here we are here at Niagara, which was the main event for this trip. So a little blue boat there you see down below, that's the Maid in the Mist. I think we're going to go down and check it out in a little bit too, but this is from an overlook. The American Falls here is what you see kind of in the distance, just left of the center, all that mist. That's Horseshoe Falls. That's all on the Canadian side there. The buildings you see on the left, that's on the Canadian side. We're actually on the American side here in New York. One of the bridges that lead across from the American side to the Canadian side. You can't just walk across it. You've got to have your passport and stuff. It's not just free willy-nilly go on across for anybody, but we're not going to go across this time. We're going to head on here, go over to these elevators, go down to the river level, and the boat's not here yet, but this is where we'll be getting on the Maid in the Mist here in just a few minutes. Everybody puts on their blue ponchos. You get pretty wet on this trip. There's the tower, the overlook where we started here at Niagara, and you come down that tower in the elevator to get down here where we are. And then here's the start of the boat ride. So we're out on the water. You see coming across here, coming up to the American Falls. Bridalveil Falls is part of this too. It's a little slit of a waterfall, which is to the very right of this segment here. On its own, even Bridalveil would be an impressive falls, but kind of lost in the mix amongst the big wide American Falls here. But that's really cool. We'll start getting wet here in just a little bit. You'll see some water coming on the screen. No real way to avoid that. But we're going to move on out through here, check it out, and then we'll get up close to Horseshoe Falls here in just a few minutes too. Better look there at Bridalveil Falls, which is the one on the right, the little skinny waterfall there, which is still a really big waterfall. So as impressive as this looks, if I remember right, I think only 10% of the water from the river comes down through this side of the falls. And then right here, you can see us heading towards Horseshoe Falls, and that's where the rest of the water, 90% of the water, comes across. You can really feel it when you get over here, how much more powerful this falls is. But I think we actually passed through Canadian waters here a little bit when you're on the Maid of the Mist. The Canadian side has their own version, another boat. or I'm sure there's more than one boat, but that they do. Which I didn't see it running. I'm sure it was off and on while we were around there too. But the buildings there you see on the right, that's all on the Canadian side. Um, as we come up here closer and closer to Horseshoe Falls. So anytime you ever hear of anybody going over the falls, that's usually here at Horseshoe Falls. Surprisingly enough, there's been survivors. The most recent one that I know of was 2019. A guy just went over, no barrel, nothing, just went over the falls. He survived. They found him on the rocks down below, just sitting there. So I don't know. There's a good chunk of them that didn't survive. Not for me. I wouldn't try it, but there have been survivors. But keep on inching our way closer here to the falls, to Horseshoe Falls. We'll let the audio from the waterfall play here in a second too, so you can kind of get a feel for that. But this is where you really start to get soaked if you're on the boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Niagara Falls. Ну, нормально.
Тоді на нас облако прийшло, а цей раз бачиш,
Воно в сторону.
ну, туди уходять. Диви, туди його бачили.
Вон как поднимается там.
A lot of stuff's filmed here at Niagara Falls. One of the more famous recent things filmed here was from The Office. This is where Jim and Pam got married on the boat, on the Maid of the Mist, held over by the ship's captain. They actually came here. The real wedding was supposed to be in a church, but they came off here and got married. But another thing, one of my favorite things filmed here was 1980 Superman 2. Clark and Lois were here at Niagara Falls, and the boy falls over, and Superman comes down, swoops in, and saves the day there. Saves the little boy from falling over. Really do get drenched out here, especially this part right here at Horseshoe Falls. But here we are back on the other way, heading the other way. Gonna head back over the dock, whatever you want to call it, where we got on the boat on the Maid of the Mist. So we'll pass back by the American Falls on our way back over. You can see the bridge back there that we showed a little earlier. Kind of make out the tower there on the right, just to the right of the center. That's the overlook there on the American side. We'll head back that way, climb back up on the overlook, and then we're going to check things out at night here. So they do a light show at night and fireworks too during the summertime. So we'll check out all that stuff. As far as trying to stick with cheap trips, at least for the most part, this is crazy cheap, especially for what it's actually worth, because it's worth coming to. So the Maid of the Mist boat ride is like $25 a person, which is definitely worth that to see what you can see. If you just wanted to come in the falls and check things out, it's free. During the day, I think you got to pay a couple bucks if you wanted to come out here on this overlook. But if you're doing the Maid of the Mist, that's free. You don't pay it. But at the most, if you want to just pay a couple bucks and walk out here at night, you could walk out here. There was no charge. And there's no charge to enter the park here where Niagara Falls is. So you could come here and spend pretty much nothing unless you just wanted something to eat or buy a shirt. And it's 100% worth all that. It's going to look real cool here in just a second too, as this flips over into night. There's a light show. I think that Canada's the side that actually handles all the lights and I believe the fireworks too. Here you can see changed over. We're pretty much the same spot here, back on that overlook tower. Gonna check the light show out, and then the fireworks as we finish up the night. All in all, a really good day, really easy day. It's not hard to get around, deal with stuff here at Niagara Falls and back in Buffalo either. And it's not much distance between the two. I don't know, 20, 30 minutes between Buffalo and Niagara Falls, New York. You get here, just hanging out at the waterfall, so impressive, and free unless you wanted to do, we did a little extra with the Maid of the Mist, but that was worth $25 a person. And then coming back here at night, free again. Check out this show. The colors change. That's really cool. Is the mist, I guess is the only way to call it, really. Coming up, see the lights flickering and changing there. In just a minute, we'll check out the fireworks, and that'll be it. All right, that's it for this trip. Charlie and I are going to head in and call it a night. See where we end up next.